It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Thanks for joining us right after the Dodgers beat the Padres by a final score of 3-1. They picked up a game against the Padres in the NL West. They've now taken 12 of their last 13 against San Diego dating back to last season. 3 of 4 this season, 7 straight at Dodger Stadium. Their record improves to 47-28, and like I said, they picked up a full game on San Diego. We have so much to get into in this one. CT3's throw. Look, Trent Grisham, don't run on Chris Taylor. When is he going to learn that he can't run on Chris Taylor? You had CT 93.3 in 2020. Now you had CT 96.3 today. 96.3 miles per hour right there from Chris Taylor. He just totally owned him at the plate. How about Justin Turner? Of course, that has to be your player of the game, right? JT, he isn't washed. He is starting to heat up. He had 4 home runs heading into tonight, and he gets 2 in this one. He had that brain fart there where he could have turned the double play easily, and he ends up making up for it in a big way. We have so much to get into in this one, so much to break down, so much to unpack, and then how about Craig Kimbrel? It wasn't cardiac Craig. It wasn't Craig Crumble. It was a 1-2-3 inning, a clean inning from Craig Kimbrel. I've seen it all. Look, there's things I think I'll never see in my life, and I think that the Padres winning a World Series, the Clippers winning an NBA championship, and now I can cross one off, and Craig Kimbrel having a clean inning, so we'll get into tonight. The Dodgers, they beat little brother, but I want all your takes. 1, who was your player of the game? 2, where you're representing Dodgers Nation from tonight. Give me those cities and zip codes, area codes. If you're watching on Twitter, be sure to retweet the show. If you're watching on YouTube or you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Remember, this is your show. I'm just hosting it. The man, the fan, D-Mac here, and I'm here to get your takes. So give me all your takes. What are your big takeaways from the Dodgers' 3-1 win? We'll talk about Mitch White start. He's looking like he's for real. He is solid. Made some pitches tonight. Benefited from some nice defense. And then got to talk about this bullpen. They really just took care of business against this Padres team. But we got Bakersfield in the house from KP Chessman. We got Facebook user 626LFG Dodgers. Craig still missing fastball real high. That's from Orlando. Yeah, I talk about Craig Kimbrel. Really did a nice job during that getting Abrams. I mean, we talk about the Grisham one. Grisham, he benefited from that call right there. It was a 2-2 pitch. He got the call, the breaking ball on the outside for the first out, and then he gets Kim to foul out to short for the second out. And you talk about Abrams, got that 4-seam fastball, one of his best pitches of the year, hits the inside. Right there on the inside and right on the inner half, and I think it's just a great pitch right there. When we talk about missing high tonight, not many examples of that. I mean, I think the fastball for him, it's just really about hitting his spots, hitting his command. We'll talk about the Dodgers going against Joe Musgrove, and I think that's a big takeaway from tonight's win is the pitching matchup. It didn't favor the Dodgers. There's no question about it. You got Joe Musgrove. He is their ace. Make no mistake about it. He's a really solid pitcher. Really, they're the best pitcher on the Padres at 2.25 ERA, and he had a nice night. 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, but you got Justin Turner. And Justin Turner, he really was the MVP for the Dodgers. He was the player of the game. JT telling people out there, hey, you can stop taking that shovel and pouring dirt on my grave. I've still got some baseball left in the tank. Justin Turner isn't quite washed, and I also think, yeah, if you look at tonight, JT against Joe Musgrove, he goes 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. The rest of the Dodgers, they combine to go 2 for 22 with 10 strikeouts. But give me your big takeaways, guys. And also, yes or no question, is the Padres versus the Dodgers a real rivalry? Because, look, to me, it's like Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns. It's a fringe rivalry. It's like a little summer fling, right? You guys are together for this rivalry, but at some point it's going to fizzle out. And I think that right now there is a nice there's tension between the two teams. I think the players are making the rivalry what it is today, and definitely it was an electric atmosphere tonight at the Ravine. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on that in just a second. But here we go. More comments from you guys. Keep dropping those comments, dropping those takes. I'll give you a Let's Go Dodgers. If you give me a fire take, guys, something crazy hot takes, I want your hottest takes. We'll see who gets the take of the night. The take of the night here. So I'll be reading for that. Get those fire takes, and you'll get the you win if you get the take of the night. Turner comes through. That's from Boomer Assassin. Yeah, I mean, it was just such a big night for JT. And it was a situation there where Justin Turner, I mean, he just comes through in a massive way. I mean, Justin Turner was really, really phenomenal. And then also, too, I just love the fact that top of the 6th inning, after the leadoff walk to Mazzara with Justin Brewer on the mound, 1 out to Ostanola. First pitch, he hits that ground ball to third base, and JT just completely forgets there's 1 out in the inning. He goes to first. He could have gone for the double play. He doesn't do it. He could have turned 2 as a routine DP, and he just doesn't get it done. He just forgets it. It was a little brain fart. And then, thankfully, I think one of the themes tonight was Dodgers just picking up Dodgers. Because, look, we saw that play right there. Puts the runner in scoring position, and then next batter, 3-2 changeup. Grisham hits that one to center field, and Cody Bellinger, he makes the play. He's charging in. He covers a lot of ground. Like I said, he covers more ground than a Roomba in a mansion. So nice job by Cody Bellinger right there. And then early in the game, you saw CT3 getting Mitch White's back, keep saving the Dodgers that run. Also, here we go. Ray Barsimian. Hey, Doug, sub Dodgers going all the way. We got it's the Justin Turner show. Yeah, JT, he was phenomenal in this one. What more can you say about Justin Turner other than the fact that, look, he is a guy that he has been struggling. And he not only at the plate, usually when we think of JT struggling at the plate is we're saying, look, he's hitting for a pretty decent average, but the power numbers aren't there. You start to see the power surge when the summer months come. As the weather starts to heat up, so does Justin Turner. But really, it's all around this year. It's the power numbers, it's the average. And if you look at the month of June, he was really struggling heading into tonight. In the month of June before tonight, JT was 18 for 86 with a 209 batting average, a 567 OPS with no home runs at all. That was his first home run tonight since May 18th against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he hadn't homered since the middle of May. So that's big news for this Dodgers team because, look, if Justin Turner can start looking like the JT that we know that Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, those guys are going to come through, and to have Justin Turner toward at the bottom of that lineup, now you see him in the 5, 6, 7 holes. If he can really start producing, it's going to be a big deal because the Dodgers, they need him to go out there, get that bat on the ball, use those elite bat-to-ball skills at one time, and just start driving the baseball. And I think the fact you saw him hit that cutter away, see some opposite field power, that was big for Justin Turner. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on JT? Is this just a one-game fluke for him, or do you think that he's heating up? Do you think we can expect this kind of performance from JT moving forward? Let us know. Ron Fig, D-Mac. What up, Ron Fig? JT for presidents from Anthony Madrid. We got, by the way, it kind of almost felt like a postseason-like atmosphere. I think that we'll get into the negatives too. I always give my positives, my Michelada half full take, and also some of the negatives. And I think that, yes, Justin Turner came through, but the rest of the Dodgers, they did struggle against an elite-ish pitcher in Joe Musgrove, an ace pitcher in Joe Musgrove. We saw them have fits with Max Fried. So tonight, really, it was that four-seam fastball. I mean, you saw throughout the game. Trey Turner took that fastball looking early in the game. Freddie Freeman took that fastball looking early in the game. And he was changing eye levels. He was working all the quadrants of the zone. He was going to that slider when he needed. You saw him get the big punch out of Chris Taylor with that slider. Jake Lamb, by the way, how about Jake Lamb? Where's the Lamely? Let Jake rake Lamb. He did his thing. He got that first triple since he was with the Diamondbacks. But Ginger Jesus did again. It's from Anthony Keene. I'm going to give you a Let's Go Dodgers for that. Dodger fan here in Vegas. Yeah, let me know where you represent, guys. This definitely had a nice electricity to it. You had Manny Machado back. By the way, when is Manny Machado going to pay my man Moshe his contract? But Rod Wilson, JT should be an all-star. Rod Wilson, you are definitely a little hype on JT right now, man. How many Coke Zeros did you have? Because I don't think JT could hit for the cycle for the next 2 weeks. He will not be an all-star. Let me tell you that. Hopefully, it is the return of JT from Boomer Assassin. Carl, just in time. I like what you did right there. That's what I'm talking about. Any puns you're getting, you guys, you bring the puns, bring the nicknames, bring the fire takes. Jerickson, Profar. By the way, yeah, we'll get into that. JT did everything. Craig, we got Orlando, Florida in the house. We got Bear House, Crestline Dodgers in the house. But let's go back down here. Mitch was electric when he got in holds. Dude dug himself out. Love to see that. That's from Joey Medina. Yeah, he definitely did a nice job getting himself out of jams in this one. And his night as a whole, he goes 4 2/3, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, had 3 punch-outs, 80 pitches, 51 for strikes. He goes 12 for 20 on first pitch strikes. And I think the key for and not a ton of swing and miss, but you saw him getting those. You saw him going to that going to that curveball when he needed to, going to that slider when he needed to. And I think that the big play for Mitch White, really, if you talk at the top of the first inning, so Profar, he grounds the second for the first out. 0-2 pitch to Machado. Machado, he doubles to left. And I think if you talk about Mitch White early on this game, that wasn't a great route by Gavin Lux. And he'll tell you that too. He's playing a lot of infield of late, and that puts him in a spot where you got a runner in scoring position early in the game. And then first pitch to Cronenworth, he flies left for the second out, and then 0-2 to Mazzara. He singles to center to score Manny Machado to give the Padres that early 1-0 lead. Had him down 0-2 in the count, just wasn't able to finish him off with that curveball. Next batter, Hosmer, a.k.a. Dave Navarro, on the 3-2 pitch. He gets him to ground out to end the inning. So the Padres, they get 1 run on 2 hits. In the first inning, Lux didn't take the best route there, put him in a spot where you got Manny Machado on second there, and that could have easily been a 1-2-3 first for Mitch White. But grade Mitch White's outing, let me know down below. We got more comments here. Jake Lamb is batting 400. That's from Sam Crandall. Yeah, what do you guys think of Jake Rake Lamb? Hottest take, Mitch White should be a starter in the rotation. That's from Based Lord. I think that Mitch White is a guy that he's going to embrace this role that the Dodgers have for him. You saw this guy, tons of options, right? I mean, this guy's a lot of options, let's put it that way. And I think when it comes to Mitch White, he understands that when he's in there, when he's pitching, it's usually because you have injuries or their Dodgers are trying to skip a start for someone, trying to get some additional rest. But he fully embraces the role they have for him. And I think that when it comes to Mitch White, it's about just having that command, having the conviction on that fastball. And you saw tonight he was able to use his breaking stuff as well. And I think that he's a guy that he doesn't have to rely on big-time swing and miss stuff. It's just about hitting his spots. And if you look at his night as a whole, Mitch White, he ended up averaging, topped out at 95.3 miles per hour on that four-seam fastball, averaged 93 on the heater, goes to the slider, got 3 whiffs on that slider, 1 on the curve, 1 on the sinkers, but he's just solid. I mean, Mitch White is definitely solid. I mean, he's a guy that goes out there, he performs, you see him get more and more experience at this level, and then you jump to the top of the second inning. So top of the second inning, we're going to talk about that, but here we go. We got Blake Snell is going to turn into Koufax against us tomorrow, isn't he, Justin Lamas? It's funny you say that because it just feels like that, because Blake Snell has been bust Snell. He's been bust Snell, and I just think that what Blake Snell needs to do, he needs to walk over to the other dugout, and he needs to go up to Austin Barnes and say, hey, how much for my soul back? Because you took my soul in the 2020 World Series. I'd like to have it back. They could negotiate a deal there, and I think Austin Barnes, he's been a great father to Blake Snell, and I just think he should give his soul back. But Mitch White locked down the Padres. That's from Anthony Madrid. Snell stopped getting good when his chin disappeared. Interesting take right there. Boomer, we got Nathan. I thought Pods were going to do something tonight. They're toast. That's from Nathan. Yeah, I mean, when you consider the fact that Dodgers going out there with Mitch White and they bring out Joe Musgrove, and Joe Musgrove is a guy that is the ace of the Padres. He is their best pitcher right now, and you got to feel good about this series if you're the Dodgers, the way you take down their pitcher, the way everyone stepped up in the bullpen today too. You talk about Evan Phillips. He was fantastic. They get 4 big outs from Evan Phillips in this one, and Evan Phillips, he's been nothing short of just an absolute breakout star, really, coming out of that bullpen. Dr. Filth right there. And look, if Phillips on the mound, you're screwed. We got a $10 from my man Blue702, Lemon character, doing a victory dance with maracas in his hands. Yeah, Freddie and Trey struggle from BC. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a part of the story of tonight's game is, Trey Turner. Here's the box score report, by the way, brought to you by the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast, hosted by Eric Yulo and the new Dodgers Nation. At the box score report, if you look at the top 3 hitters, Trey Turner, he goes 0 for 4. Freddie Freeman, he goes 0 for 4. Will Smith, he goes 0 for 3. So the top of that Dodgers lineup, the 1, 2, 3, like I've been saying, it's been like a cupcake. It's been, you want to eat the top of that cupcake because that's the best part. And the best part of the Dodgers lineup has been that 1, 2, 3 combination, even dating back to, of course, when you had Mookie, Freddie, and Trey. But they didn't get it done today. They go a combined 0 for 11. You saw multiple strikeouts. Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, and Trey Turner. They were going down swinging again. They just weren't seeing it well off of Joe Musgrove, having issues with that four-seam fastball. You had Will Smith later in the game. He ends up check swinging at a fastball high up out of the zone. You saw Will Smith low on a fastball that just touched the bottom of the zone. Really a great pitch. Will Smith didn't agree with it, but yeah, I mean, Musgrove, give him credit. He definitely was dealing out there against the Dodgers' best hitters, but I want to give a lot of credit to Max Muncie. I want to get into that in just a second, but I want to read some more comments. You guys are bringing that fire as always. Can you guys hear the fire sound? Let me know. Dominic Wilson, Doug, I got Chris Taylor's autograph. Dominic, I'm so happy for you, especially on a night like this where he just owned Trent Grisham again. Remember back in 2020, the throw off by Chris Taylor, the 93.3. Well, this was actually faster tonight. It was 96.3 to get Trent Grisham and really keep this a one-run game early on. And that's exactly what Mitch White and this team needed when you consider the fact that this Dodgers offense wasn't doing very much against Joe Musgrove. But closers did good this game. That's from Mookie Flex. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Craig Kimbrel in this one. Craig Kimbrel went out there. Such a tongue twister, right? Craig Kimbrel, he went out there and he did the damn thing. I mean, give him a lot of credit. I think early on, of course, he benefited from that breaking ball call that was a little bit off the plate against Trent Grisham. But to end the game, I mean, that was one of the best pitches I've seen. I like the emotion from Craig Kimbrel after it wasn't cardiac Kimbrel in this one. It was a clean 1, 2, 3 inning. And like I said, there's some things I thought I would never see in my life. I know I'll never see the Padres win a World Series or the Clippers win an NBA championship or Manny Machado pay most of the $300 million that he owes him. But we did see a clean inning from Craig Kimbrel, and that's what I've been telling you for a couple of weeks now, is that there are some encouraging signs. When you look at the disparity between his FIP, when you consider and his ERA, when you consider the fact that he had the second highest BABIP at 412 in all of Major League Baseball. So he was due for some regression, and you like the fact that he's still striking guys out. And look, missing bats is important, especially for a closer. I mean, talk about the best closer of all time, and Mariano Rivera wasn't a massive strikeout guy, but he had a freaking cutter that everyone knew was coming, and just breaking bats all day long. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I think that, you look at 2 strikeouts in his appearance, and he gets the big strikeout to Abrams, and he was behind the count early on. He fell behind 2-0, missed with that fastball high, missed with that fastball low and inside, but is able to come back, lands that four-seam fastball, bottom of the zone, lower inner third, and then he gets that curveball. He lands that curveball. So that's when you're watching Craig Kimbrel, that's one thing you want to watch. Is he landing that curveball low in the zone? Because if he's touching the bottom of the zone with that curveball, that really opens things up. It keeps hitters off balance. It keeps them on their heels, and then he can blow by them with that four-seam fastball, and that strike that he got looking there on the inner half right there. It's a great pitch, and that ended things out. So a nice night for Craig Kimbrel. What'd you guys think, though? Was that the best that Kimbrel has looked all year? We got Nando 390, D-Mac. Which former Dodger in the majors could you see coming back? That's a really good question. I mean, when you talk about coming back, do you mean this year? Do you mean after this year? Do you mean at the trade deadline? Clarify down below, because I think if you're talking about current Dodgers, I know that my friend Clint Pasillas wants to see Rich Hill back. I mean, that's always an interesting possibility. But the reality is, I mean, you got Yasiel Puig playing overseas. You got Jock Peterson playing on the Giants. It'd be great to have Jock back when you consider how much damage he's doing this season, and the fact that Jock Peterson is going for the three-peat, the three-peat. For Jock Peterson, it would be Jock Threederson if he wins it this season. So it'd be nice to have him on your team heading into the postseason. Won it in 2020 with the Dodgers, 2020 with the Braves when it was the Tama Jock chop. And that'd be great, but really unlikely to see any Dodger back this season. I mean, A.J. Pollock is gone. It'd be nice to have him back. Got 3 Ks. We got Kimbrel looking better from Robert Wilson. Beta is in Miami. He's beta. Don't worry about that guy. If he can develop that change, he can be a weapon. That's from Kevin Haynes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. Let's break down more. Let's do a rapid round of comments here, and let's get back into this breakdown. Predict Gonsolin wins the Cy Young. That's a hot take. It's a hot take, man. It's a hot take from about Tony Gonsolin right there. I mean, if you talk about the Cy Young, I mean, yeah, let's just take it one step at a time. How about that? We'll take it one step at a time with Tony Gonsolin, and let's just hope that he gets an All-Star appearance. I mean, I think that would be massive for the guy, but we talk about, is he even the best? Is he even the leading Cy Young candidate in his own division at this point? Because you look at Carlos Rodon, what he's been able to do with the San Francisco Giants. If you look at him, he's been a massive workhorse. But also, look, I think Sandy Alcantara, he's probably going to run away with it. I mean, look at Sandy Alcantara, 115 thirds innings pitched, 2.9 F/WAR. The guy we just saw, Max Fried, he's been sensational. He's been phenomenal. I mean, you see him clocking at triple digits this year. You see an uptick in velocity in his fastball. Tony Gonsolin, currently 17th in F/WAR at 1.4. So, but definitely, leads the National League with a 1.58 ERA. But I think a lot would have to happen for him to really enter that Cy Young conversation on a legitimate level. But good game, guys. What up, Eric? Wow, Eric, I feel disarmed by that greeting, because usually the Padres come here wanting to start some fights. We get a food fight here at down here, but hey, man, good series, strong series. You got Blake Snell going free tomorrow. We got LMFAO. Shout out to Super Mario. That's from Gary A. Yeah, I think Alex Vesia. And we'll talk about Vesia. What do you guys think of his performance, his appearance? I think that he went out there and he battled. I mean, Alex Vesia on the night, he ends up going 2/3 of an inning, allowed the hit to Cronenworth, had the punch out, 20 pitches, 15 for strikes. So he was pounding the zone with strikes, and it was just unfortunate. You saw Bob Melvin. He made his move. He goes to Voit to get the lefty-righty matchup, and it was a long at-bat. He ends up Voit ends up reaching on that 13-pitch at-bat there. He walked him. He missed with the changeup. So Vesia, if you can find that changeup, but he missed low with that changeup there. He throws in the dirt, and that gave the Padres runners on first and second with 2 outs. So, yeah, but I think Vesia went out there. He battled, gave up a hit. Didn't necessarily have his best stuff, but he went out there and he got the job done nonetheless. And I think that, yeah, he's a guy the Dodgers going to continue to rely upon. When we got lefties in the game, throw him in some high leverage spots, and I think that I just really was impressed by the way he bounced back, because he had 13 pitch at bat to Voit, a 12 pitch at bat to Voit, 12 pitch at bat, I believe, 12 pitch at bat to Voit, and then comes back against Nola, and then he gets ahead of the count quickly. He gets him down in an 0-2 count, and he gets him to ground out. Nice location on that 4-seam fastball. So definitely he was fantastic, but let's show some love to Evan Phillips. But D-Mac, was this Craig Kimbrel's first clean inning with the Dodgers, Francisco Virgin? It was not his first clean inning with the Dodgers, but those have been few and far between. He's given up runs in, I want to say, 9 of his last 14 or 15 starts, something like that off the top of my head. LOL, how far behind in the comments is Doug? Here, let's go quicker. Hey, man, it's your guys' fault for commenting so much. I was playing. Padres got branded tonight for this series. Go Dodgers. Give Muncie credit for working walks, create a 2-run lead with JT's homer. Carl, you saw me on Twitter. I tweeted that. As everyone was going crazy with JT's home run to put the Dodgers up 3-1, and I think that when you talk about just Max Muncie, you're seeing him look much more comfortable at the plate. He's looking much more comfortable at the plate, and then you saw him there early in the game, the bottom of the 4th inning. He got thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. He was going to make it, but he just kind of popped off the bag there. And later in the game, he hit another ball into right field that was in the same spot. So he's hitting the ball hard. You're seeing him working those walks. And I think Max Muncie, if you look at his numbers, he is starting to trend up. He's hitting over 200, and I know you're going to say, over 200, this and that, but it's not 156. You're seeing him look more locked in. I talked to Max Muncie a few weeks ago, and he's a baseball junkie, and that's exactly what he told me. He's a baseball junkie, and he's a guy that's continuing to tinker with his approach, and he wants to get back into a spot where he's helping this ball club, and he did just that tonight. It was to see Max Muncie, and I think one of the key at-bats in this entire game is, especially when you talk about Craig Kimbrel late in the game, is getting that extra run, getting that additional run. And he gives the Dodgers another run there in the 7th inning when the 7th inning, Will Smith, he goes down swinging. And then Max Muncie, he takes an 8-pitch. He walks on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. So great at-bat by Max Muncie, one of the best at-bats of the night for the Dodgers. Takes strike one looking right there on the lower third, and then he takes 3 straight balls. A slider, bottom of the zone, low and inside, 4-seam fastball inside right off the plate, and then he misses with a cutter, low and inside. So on the 3-1 count, he fouled off that cutter that was really middle. He fouls off that cutter, and that loads the count, the 3-2 count, and then he fouls off 2 straight pitches, a 4-seam fastball, bottom of the zone, inner third, and then he misses a 4-seam fastball that is a pitch that we want to see him drive, because that one he left a little up, but on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he lays off that curveball that was outside, and then the next batter, the hit of the game, the play of the game, the moment of the game for the Dodgers, of course, was Justin Turner. He takes strike one, and then he takes a ball, and on the 1-1 count, he crushes a home run, 404 feet, opposite field, a cutter scoring Muncie and JT. A 2-run shot for JT. Justin Turner out there saying, hey, guys, I'm not washed, okay? Old man still got it a little bit, okay? So don't try to bury me quite just yet. It was nice to see JT, Ginger Jesus, getting it done. 2 home runs, a 2-run shot to put the Dodgers up 3-1, and they needed that, especially when you consider how tight this one was. So it was just he just put a great swing on it. I mean, we look at Justin Turner during that at-bat, he's really starting to get that rhythm and timing back, and when you start to see him hitting cutters opposite field and you're seeing the distance, 404 feet, it's very encouraging, a very promising sign for this Dodgers team, because we know what they're going to get from the top of the lineup. It's just a matter of what they're going to get in the middle of this lineup. It's like that meme where you see the horse is drawn all perfectly and it looks like some artist did it, and then the middle kind of looks like a kindergartner starting to do it, right? So they're starting to really complete this lineup. They can really make this lineup look long again if Justin Turner can get going and drive baseballs like we saw him do tonight. And then I was a little worried the Dodgers had an opportunity to add another run later in that inning. Bellinger, he lines out to first, and then Jake Lamb with 2 outs. He was down 0-2 in the count. He triples on a curveball, low and away, hits it into center field. Trent Grisham, he tries to dive for it. It gets under him, and he makes it all the way to third. First triple since 2017. And with the runner at third, Chris Taylor, who has been striking out less of late, he goes down swinging. But the Dodgers, they get 2 runs on 2 hits there in that 7th inning. And, it was big. But here, let's go back to the comment section. We'll keep breaking down this game. Do you think the Padres versus the Dodgers is a rivalry? Me, personally, I think it's a fringe rivalry. I don't consider them a legitimate rival. They're still a little brother to me. It's Dodger Stadium South. It's the Dodgers Beach House down there. And the reality of the situation is the players are driving this rivalry right now. It's the guys inside the uniform that are making the rivalry. It's the names on the back, not the name on the front. We know that when it's Giants-Dodgers, it's about the name on the front. It doesn't matter if you pull 9 guys off the street and for the Giants and 9 guys off the street for the Dodgers, and they clash, they throw in that uniform, hey, it's going down. But right now, it's because they have Manny Machado. It's because they have Fernando Tatis Jr. It's because they have Jurickson Profar, the Pat Beverly of Major League Baseball on that team. That's why this rivalry has some spice to it. But hey, make no mistake about it, when these two teams lock horns, when they do clash, there is a different energy level to it, and that's because we know the Padres are always going to use the Dodgers as their measuring stick to see how they're doing. And look, let's be honest, the Padres, they had an absolute devastating collapse last season. They just folded like Superman on laundry day to end the season last year. The Padres were 66-49. They were in the wild card mix, and they finished the season going 13-34 and 28 games out of first place. You saw Manny Machado yelling at Fernando Tatis Jr., they were going at it. Like I said, they folded like Superman on Laundry Day. But here we go. More days off for Justin Turner. Does that man good, CB? That's a fantastic point. Remember, guys, we're still going for our comment of the night. Who's going to get it? Let's see. Max Kuhn, D-Mac, let's find a way to send Kershaw to the All-Star game. Max Kuhn, you probably saw me on the Dodgers Nation Roundtable. By the way, go to our Dodgers Nation YouTube channel at youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. We talked about some of these Dodgers All-Stars and some of these candidates. And my man, Mr. Real FRG, Clint Pasillas, he had a segment where we could only name 4 Dodgers to make the All-Star team, and I'm going to pose that question to you guys. If you could only pick 4 current Dodgers to be All-Stars, who would they be? And to me, Clayton Kershaw is a guy you have to consider for that team. And look, he still has a sub-3 ERA. He's a guy that before that clunker against the Colorado Rockies, where, look, it's Colorado. It's a circus show. It is a place that shouldn't exist, okay? We should play baseball on the moon before we should play baseball at Coors Field. I'd rather hang out at the DMV for 10 hours than play baseball at Coors Field, right? The ball doesn't break. They don't have the feel for their breaking stuff. You see the way it jumps off the bat. And in his career, Clayton Kershaw, 4.81 ERA in 25 games at Coors Field. So he was a Coors casualty, but before that, Clayton Kershaw, 2 runs or less in his last 6 previous starts. Also, he's pitched at an all-star level when he's been on the mound. And on top of everything else, this could be his last year. He's on a 1-year deal, $17 million 1-year deal with the Dodgers. And I would love to see him on the mound at Dodger Stadium. It'd be special. It'd be electric. And that is what I think the game needs. But here we go. Trent Grisham is a bum. That's from Jaime Lannister. Yeah, speaking of Trent Grisham, I think that he made a deal with the devil. I think that he was cursed when he tried to show up Kersh in that home run that he had against him in 2020. But let's be real. We all knew Jake Lamb would play hard. Dude's been a nightmare for all NL West squads. Yeah, Dog Days, who going back to his days with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Like, this is a guy that was a former All-Star before sustaining an injury. So here we go. D-Mac, what do you think about Kyrie coming out west? Anthony Keene, man, my brain, you're trying to make my brain do karate or some gymnastics here. You had me switching to Kyrie mode. Yeah, I was walking down the street today, and I'm just like, I'm thinking of Kyrie to Lakers, KD to some place, UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten, the MLB trade deadline, the Padres series. Man, you're trying to get me to short circuit. I saw some smoke coming out of my ears, but we'll get into that in a minute. But let's do some more comments and keep breaking down this game, guys. Jokes on I like that. Jokes on Profar. You're gonna get fired. That's a contender. That's a contender for comment of the night. Padres folded like my wallet. Let's just go multiple winners. But Dodgers-Padres are not a rivalry. Dodgers-Giants are the true rivalry. Always in forever. I agree with you, Alex. I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. D-Mac, how many stars do you give Voigt's Chestrel area? I'm going to give it let's give it I mean, he's got some show chains in there. He looks like he could be an old Western actor or some guy that was a WWE wrestler, something like that. But I'll give it 2 stars. Why not? Winning with White versus Musgrove feels extra special. JPL, that's what we talked about. Julio deserves an All-Star game. Yeah, Clint was making his case. Funny how y'all never speak on CT's strikeouts every year. We watch him swing and miss over and under over 90 strikeouts before. That's just what he does, though. I mean, that comes with his game. He does have a violent swing, and before he was striking out a lot, he wasn't hitting for much power. When he reinvented his swing, that was one thing that came along with it. And look, you have to accept Chris Taylor for what he is. He is a streaky player, but also you see what you saw in the Dodgers' dramatic win of the year against the Braves. He comes in for Eddie Alvarez. He goes 3 for 3. So you just have to ride the good with the bad for Chris Taylor, and you know he does a lot of great things. And that's a good segue. We'll switch gears to really the big critical inning in this one, which was the top of the second inning where Chris Taylor saved the day. But I want to get some more comments in here. Remember, guys, still going for that comment of the night. Also, if you could only pick 4 Dodgers to be an All-Star, who would they be? We got Moose 1032 says Mookie, Kersh, Freddie Gonsolin. Miles Simon says Kershaw, Turner, Betts, Gonsolin. Dog Days, if someone gets hurt, I expect a Kershaw selection for All-Star games. If I don't expect it. Ford All Day, D-Mac, I'm worried that this year isn't the Dodgers' year. We're all over the place and lacking energy. I think, look, it's a long year. It is a marathon of a season. The Dodgers have the best record in the National League. They have the best record in the NL West, and they haven't hit their stride. They've dealt with a multitude of significant injuries, key injuries to their 3 high-leverage relievers, Blake Trinan, Tommy Canley. What happened to Daniel Hudson? They lost him for the season with an ACL injury. They lost their preseason ace in Walker Buehler. I said that on Twitter. The guy's like, our ace is Tony Gonsolin. What I'm trying to say is, if everyone's right, there's no question that Walker Buehler is the ace. And to me, I would take Julio Urias as the second ace. I'll just be honest with you when you're talking about frontline starters. So this Dodger team has dealt with injuries, and also you talk about Max Muncy and Justin Turner not looking at themselves. And yes, there's other teams that have dealt with injuries. The Mets not having DeGrom and Scherzer, the Braves not having Acuna to start the season, amongst other injuries, and teams are always dealing with stuff, but I don't care about other teams. I only care about the Dodgers, right? So thank you, Rebecca. We got Dodgers will make one more move. I think they'll make more than just one move. Trace Lamb season has arrived. I like that name. Trace Lamb Redemption Season 2022. Trace Lamb, I got a challenge for you, man. For your picture, you got to go half Jake Lamb, half Trace Thompson. By the way, Klay Thompson, I'm telling you, next time he's on a podcast or a show, they're going to say, hey, this is our next guest. He is the brother of Dodgers right fielder Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson. That's what he's going to be known as pretty soon. Klay Thompson is going to be known as Trace Thompson's bro. That is my goal for this season. Mr. X, what up, D-Mac? What up, Mr. X? How you doing, my man? Thanks for joining us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, mash that heart button for yourself, because this is your show. I'm just hosting it. Definitely do that. And also, if you're on Twitter, to be sure to retweet the show. I got Ginger Jesus on my dashboard. Acuna is trash. That's from Francisco Alberto Moreno. Congratulations, Dodgers fans and organization, on hosting the All-Star Game July 19th. Remember, what your CT3 was hit on the hand, Craig Osterberg. Yeah, that's one that they tried to review it. It was definitely a play that he should have taken the free base, but you can't win them all when it comes to replays, and I think that's the one that was bang for sure. Damien, what's up? D-Mac sitting here at the top deck. All right, man. Hey, wave at where Gibson hit the home run for me, man. Wave at home plate. Zachar, my son Homer was born. You named your son Homer? Dope. I love it, though. Big Simpsons fan. We all here at Dodgers Nation for the most part. We all are, definitely. And congrats, man. They did it for you today, man. They won for Homer. Justin Turner hit 2 homers for homers. Congratulations, Zachar Z. Richard, huge play by Taylor and Smith on the play at the plate. Perfect segue, Richard Burris over on Facebook. So top of the second inning, Nola grounded to third for the first out, and then first pitch to Grisham. He singles to right center for a one-out base hit. 92-mile-per-hour fastball just left it out over the heart of the plate, and Grisham, who he's been struggling all season long, he's able to get a base hit, and then he falls behind. And then next batter, Mitch White, he falls behind 3-0 to Kim before throwing a strike to make it 3-1. Next pitch, he walks him to give the Padres runners on first and second with 1 out, and then 0-1 to Kim. He reaches on a bunt single to load the bases. So he reaches on that bunt single to load the bases, and I'm going to get my comments back 1 second, guys. Oh, there we go. And so he walks Kim, and then Abrams, he reaches on that bunt single to load the bases, and then next batter up, Nola, 2-0, or next batter up to Profar, he lines to right, and then Chris Taylor, he makes the catch, that for the second out, and then he makes a perfect throw to snipe Trent Grisham at the plate to get out of the inning. It's the third out of the inning. 1, it was a perfect throw. 2, it was a perfect pick by Will Smith. Just a great pick, a great tag, 96.3 miles per hour. It was a fantastic throw, and it was very reminiscent to the throw we saw in 2020 to end the game when Chris Taylor, he was in left field. That's the difference. He was in left field, and he throws out Chris Taylor to end the. I mean, Chris Taylor throws him out. And Sarah Langs, she tweeted that his 96.3 mile per hour throw is an outfield assist to get Trent Grisham at home. That's the Dodgers' fastest tracked outfield assist since the start of the 2020 season. Grisham's sprint speed on the play was 29.1 feet per second, not far from the elite 30-plus feet per second threshold. So point is, that was a tag up there, and he was hustling down the line. He looked like he was going to score, but it was a perfect throw from Chris Taylor, an outstanding pick by Will Smith. Just a fantastic play altogether. And Trent Grisham, when will you learn? Don't run on Chris Taylor. But here we go. We got Kersh, Mookie, Trey Gonsolin for the mix. Position players: Mookie, Trey, Freddie Smith. Pitching: Kersh, Gonsolin, Urias, Maranta. Okay, that's a hot take, bro. You're going for Reyes, Maranta. I love it, man. Anthony King, get Reyes, Maranta. Might as well just have him as the starter. Gold Glover CT3 from Craig Osterberg. Don Kim was hoping Will Smith would make it to the All-Star game. Yeah, Will Smith is definitely in the mix. I mean, second in the National League in home runs, second in OPS. The issue with Will Smith is, of course, he was behind d'Arnaud. He was behind Yadier Molina. So they could select him as well, and also the commissioner's office does have the power to add a third catcher if they want to exercise that right. But to me, it would be an absolute slap in the face if Will Smith didn't make the All-Star team. I talked to Will Smith during spring training, and I asked him this very question: how important is it to you to make the All-Star team? And he said, hey, it's something that I want to do. It's something that he thinks he's capable of doing. So I know that he's making a late push for it, and he absolutely deserves a spot on that team. Trayce Thompson, NLCS MVP from Jamie Lannister. Here, I'm gonna give you that'll be the comment of the night, man. Trayce Thompson, NLCS MVP. It's just such a hot take. If it happens, we're gonna come back here. We're gonna clip this up. We're gonna probably make an NFT for it. We're gonna probably put it in the loop, because if that happens, it's one of the great predictions, one of the hot takes of all time coming through. Esther, D-Mac, what's your opinion on the current Dodgers bullpen? Do we need more pitchers? I think at the moment you've had some guys that you have discovered. I think you talk about Evan Phillips. He's performed well all season long. Reyes, Maranta of recently. And then also my man Yancy Almonte has had some command issues of late. He's another guy that stepped up big. But I think the big question is, do you get Blake Trinan back? And when you do, how does he look? Does he look like last year's Blake Trinan that was without question a top 10 reliever in all of Major League Baseball? The Dodgers' go-to high-leverage man that can put out that fires. Remember, I was calling BTFD, Blake Trinan Fire Department, coming out there, getting the job done, because they did lose Tommy Kahnle, a guy that they signed knowing that he was going to miss the entire 2021 season because they thought he could come back and be a high-leverage guy for the Dodgers in 2022. And I think that if you're this Dodgers team, there is going to be some names out there you might want to pursue. But another thing you can do is you can also add another starting pitcher and have one of these guys go to the bullpen in a long reliever role. Tyler Anderson has been fantastic this season. Tyler Anderson, Tyler the outs creator, flirted with the perfect game, flirted with the no-hitter, but he has started to experience a little bit of regression. We know that Clayton Kershaw is a guy who will never come out of the bullpen because his stuff doesn't even match up with what a critical bullpen piece would bring, and also that's just not going to happen. Also, Julio Urias is another guy that's going to be a starter, and then Walker Buehler, if he comes back, how will he look? So I think that really the big question is, how's the health of this Dodger team going to look up? How will Dustin May look when he comes back after the All-Star break? I've seen Dustin May throw with my own eyes on the mound at Dodger Stadium, and he was throwing 100 miles per hour with regularity, with relative ease. And you saw Bill Plunkett, his tweet a few weeks ago, that said that he was touching 101. He wasn't sitting at 101, but he did touch 101 when he was facing hitters in Arizona. So he can come back and be a weapon. Doc has already said they're building him up to be a starter, but I think that it'll be some flexibility where they might use him in situations coming out of that bullpen. Also, you talk about Danny Duffy as well. How about Caleb Ferguson is another guy that's been on the mend. Phil Bickford has had a down year, but he had a couple nice moments in the last few series as well. But I think that this Dodger team, they're not going to break the bank and offer up some massive prospects for some key relievers or anything like that. but you might see them add some marginal pieces. But CT with the Yasiel type cannon from right field. Yeah, maybe the C in CT3 stands for cannon. I like that. Thank you, Dog Gaze. You are outstanding. But a great move, Dodgers signing Jake Lamb, great player. Yeah, I think it's always important for some of these players. I think Trace Thompson, he comes up, he has success early. You saw him hit a home run in the Red Series, a double, some extra base hits. And then to see Jake Lamb, a.k.a. Rake Lamb, come up and do what everyone had hoped he would do and get some base hits. Tonight he gets that triple. And I think for Jake Lamb, having some early success in his stint with the Dodgers is going to be big. He goes 1 for 1, had the walk against Colorado, and then heading in tonight he was 1 for 2. So, look, to get his second hit, to continue to contribute, to hopefully replicate what he was doing down at the AAA level, and just to have him on this team before he could exercise that option on July 1st. Let's not forget about that. He had an option in May, he had an option in July 1st, and the Dodgers, he was a reclamation project. He was in the same category for them as Kevin Pillar. Kevin Pillar, he's out for this season. Kevin Pillar, bro. Inside joke. But Jay Silva, JT can. But so, yeah, I think for Jake Lamb, we'll see. Because, look, we've seen guys come up, get off to hot starts, and also kind of tail off. I mean, last year, I think the big takeaway, though, is they're in a much better spot than they were last year. When you saw the Luke Rayleys, or the Puke Rayleys, or the Sheldon Noiseys, who wasn't bringing very much noisy for this Dodgers offense. So I think they're in a much better spot with more veteran-laden players. The Trace Thompson's, who has been throughout this league, a 31-year-old player. Jake Lamb, a former All-Star, working his way back after injury. Hanser Alberto, who has a clearly defined role. Yes, he has struggled offensively, but he does have a clearly defined role when you talk about spelling guys in the infield and the ability to play multiple positions in this Dodgers infield as well. But if Will Smith doesn't make the All-Star game, he's going to slap somebody. BC, I'll give you the second place comment of the night, my man. We are going all the way. Heck yeah, I'm so stoked right now about Dodgers baseball. I am pumped. Ray Barsimi, man, you're really big on tonight's win. I like it. Will Smith is an all-star. That's from Rebecca. Anthony Keene Smith is a top 3 catcher in the entire league. By the way, are you guys kind of glad we're not talking about Freddie Freeman crying for once, or Freddie Freeman's agent for once? I mean, it did seem like, I don't know, the Freddie chants didn't seem like they were as loud as they've been this season. Did any of you guys attend the game? Let me know. DMAC_LA is underrated. Hey, thanks, Nathan. A JT Red Guy Bleeding Blue. I like that shit. I like that. That's definitely in the mix. DMAC_LA / Will Smith. Yeah, look, you guys have told me I look like Will Smith, and I'm not going to say I'm not Will Smith, and I'm also going to say that no one has a picture of us in the same room at the same time. Just saying. But, yeah, Yankees 56-21. Wow, Astros 48-27. Hey, if you guys remember, my preseason World Series pick was Astros versus the Dodgers, because I think that we need to see that. But, yeah, player of the game tonight, no question, 100% is JT Justin Turner. And I think too, what makes it so fitting is he was able to redeem himself after the top of the 6th inning when he wasn't able to turn that double play, an easy routine double play that he just thought there were 2 outs, goes to first, and thankfully Cody Bellinger, he was able to come in and make that catch on that 3-2 on the 3-2 pitch. Grisham hit that ball that looked like it had a chance to drop, but told you, Cody Bellinger, man, he covers everything. But beat Yanks today too. Will Smith definitely deserves some all-star love. Hope they keep giving Lamb playing time. I think he can really contribute for us. It's a shame Pillar is lost for this season. Absolutely. Caleb Hu from Gary A. Deborah Young, we can put some space behind us in the standings if we keep pitching like this, Deborah Young. Yeah, it's a fantastic point, because if you looked at the Dodgers and the way these pitching matchups lined up, you would think, hey, this is going to favor this Padres team. They got Snell, they got Yu Darvish Saturday, they got Mackenzie Gore on Sunday. Tomorrow you got Gonsolin, and look, if whoever, this is a 4-game series, and the Dodgers now with a 2.5-game lead, they can start to build a little cushion, build a little separation from this Padres team, and really show them that, hey, this is the Dodgers division. We're not going to play catch up all season long like they did, trying to just tooth and nail and scratch and claw and trying to get back into the NL West. They made the trade for Scherzer and Trey. They were grinding it out each and every day to try to get past the Giants because they didn't want to put themselves in a position where they had to play in that wild card game, of which they did. And they had the big moment where we discovered Taylor in the walk-off against the Cardinals. But look, they finished 100 with 106 wins last year and didn't win the division. So I think it's important when you saw guys like Julio Urias and Walker Buehler run out of gas. You saw Max Scherzer's arm passed away in the postseason with the dead arm. Rest in peace. Obviously, it was resurrected, and I think it's, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I think that the Dodgers building a cushion and actually having a convincing lead in the NL West. I mean, I would love to have a comfortable 4, 5, 6 game cushion during the second half of the season after the All-Star break where you can rest guys and where you can let guys just recalibrate and get that energy up before the postseason starts. Yes, there's the rest versus rust debate, but we saw last year that it was more of the rest. That was the issue. Because I'm telling you, if the Dodgers are cruising and the Giants didn't have the black magic, the voodoo that they did last year, and throw 15 goats into the McCovey Cove or whatever it was to try to beat the Dodgers, in which they did. I think the Dodgers, if Julio and Walker Buehler had those fresh arms, I think that they would have gone far, and I think they would have won the World Series. And I think that the fact that you saw even Max Muncy, they lost him in the last play of the game, the last game of the season. Justin Turner went down that hamstring injury early on the postseason. Clayton Kershaw, they lost him during the last series of the season. So, yeah, they were just bitten by the injury bug. It was like the season finale. It was like a game of it was like an episode of Squid Game there, where they're just getting, zapped and killed, and the injury bug sunk its teeth deep into the Dodgers at the end of last season. I think that getting a lead and taking these games very seriously is very important. D-Mac to go. Thanks, Javier. You to go right back at you, man. JT hit a hard one, Mr. X. D-Mac looks like a clean-shaven JT, carnivorous lunar activity. Hey, man, my mom's got red hair, but I don't. Won't be the same to beat the Astros. Most of the 17 team is gone, Gary A. Yes, that's true. I will give you that, and it won't feel the same really at all. But you still have Altuve, and you still have the Astros fan base, and it would be nice to win on their field. And, yeah, it would still be very satisfying in my opinion, but I agree with you 100% that not having Carlos Correa, not having George Springer, not having some of those other guys, but they still have Bregman, who's annoying AF. You still have Jose Altuve. You still have Gurriel. I mean, you still have Verlander. So there's still guys out there. And also, you have some other ballers they have on with Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, Dodgers legend. So, yeah, it wouldn't be the same. And to me, as long as we get Dodgers, Yankees, or Dodgers, Astros, I'd be happy. Look, I just want the Dodgers to play in the World Series. I don't care if they play the Springfield Isotopes or the El Paso Chihuahuas. I want to see the Dodgers in the World Series. I don't care who their competition is. Mike Jones, who? Trent Grisham, never been the same since that homer. LOL, trash. Mike Jones, I was thinking the same thing. I want to get his numbers from that. But Gonsolin, greater than the sign. Musgrove, that's from Mitchell. D-Max, sir, it is done. My man, I made a request during this show, and you've already done it? Man, my man, I love it. It looks great, man. You're killing the game, my man. It looks like fire, bro. I hope those two guys have success for the rest of the way. But and CO's place in baseball history, Padres think it's a rivalry. It's a clown. Yeah, I mean, just some of those beat LA. I mean, some of the gear. Look, if you're going to have I could never imagine wearing a shirt that says Beat SD. Why would I want to wear your colors? Why would I want to have your letters, your logo on my gear, okay? I know there's a lot of Padres fans that have Dodgers gear with an asterisk. I mean, you guys are absolute clowns if you would rock that gear. I think we will sweep this series. Deborah Young, hey, that's a bold claim. Taking 4 would be big. Scherzer won't, I mean, yeah, if he can take 4 and take a 5.5 game lead after this series, it'd be massive, I think. But what's up with the Pac-12 collapsing, carnivorous lunar activity? Man, I almost wish we could do a little bonus section on that, but we'll talk some other time. Got to stick to the Dodgers contractually. But yeah, a couple more guys, and we'll head out of this one. So Dodgers get the dub. Mitch White was solid. Bullpen, they put up zeros all night. Great night for Evan Phillips. Hasn't allowed a run in his last 12 games, and he's been fantastic. We saw Alex Vesia go out there, grind it out, get it done. You saw Craig Kimbrel with a clean inning, Justin Turner with the 2 home runs. You got Club Dub going on in that Dodgers clubhouse. And most importantly, LA gets the win, and they increase their lead in the NOS to 2.5 games. They're currently sitting at 47-28. They pick up a full game on the Padres, on the Padres, and they've won 7 straight against San Diego at home. They've taken 12 of 13 dating back to last season and 3 of 4 this year. So you want to beat your division rivals. You also want to beat that team that has their heart set on trying to dethrone you in the division. Well, we obviously know the Giants did that last year, but we all know what they're after. But gonna miss Pillar, bro. Cody Lou, my man. What's good, my man? There we go. Yeah, dude, we'll tell you that story later. But Cody Lou's outstanding employee here at Dodgers Nation, Employee of the Month for June. I nominated him. D-Mac, sir, it is done. Trace, man, that's what I'm talking about. D-Mac, you're good representative of the Dodgers. Thank you, Jay Silva. We got ALCS is going to be Yankees, Astros, and NLCS is going to be Dodgers, Braves. Bring your umbrellas. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it won't get rained out because Freddie will be on the field crying before the game. No, I'm just messing with you. Fredericks of Hollywood, I think is going to be okay. But curse, who said that? Curse Oral for ghosting our man D-Mac. Yeah, he was in my grill, man. Ask Cody. He was coming right at us. He's like, I asked Oral Hershiser at the Dodgers Access event, like, what's up with Dodgers? You want to say what's up with Dodgers Nation? He starts coming to me. He's like, what's up with Dodgers Nation? And then he kind of knew I was kind of like stuttering. He had me spinning, and he's like, no, I'm just playing. I follow you guys. So, yeah, Oral's the man. Oral's great. He's fantastic. He's great to the fans, great in the booth. And I just love Oral. I love Oral, man. Oral is the best. I love Oral. And then Padres without Machado, they suck. We remember Mitch White is rounding into form. He was on the IL for over a month. That's from Gordon Ames. Yeah, I mean, Mitch White, he has the talent. We know this about Mitch White. Mitch White is a guy that he embraces the role that the Dodgers have for him. You don't see him getting upset. Even when Doc took him out of the game there, even when Doc takes him out of that game, he was fine with it. And I think that just shows his character and what he's all about. And his last start against the Braves, he allowed 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched. Before that, he went 5 against the White Sox. And look, he's a guy that he's a really nice and convenient piece to have on this team too. So you have to factor that in as well. So yeah, I think Mitch White is a guy that Dodgers can. I mean that's really great for this team. There's no question about it. But yeah, I still think that. I mean, I don't think he's a guy that can supplant any of the starters or anything like that. I mean, you saw Swanson; he hit that 2-run shot off of him, and in the game before. So yeah, giving up some dingers, but yeah, Mitch White definitely solid for sure. But thanks guys once again for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Let's get some more takes on here. Carnivorous, I think we all agree Oral is great. Yeah, Oral is awesome. We had to get a free Bauer in here, right? Can you guys get Oral on one of your shows, JRM? I'll try. Next time hopefully I'll run into him Saturday when I'm at the game, but I'll try. I definitely will. I always ask, man. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Fire Roberts. It's not a Dodgers Nation post-game show without a Fire Roberts, right? But yeah, I thought too. I think the move for Roberts. I think the move that Roberts did make tonight, that Doc made in the 5th inning, to when he brought in when he brought in Justin Brewer, I thought really was a fantastic move. I mean, when Mitch White, when he starts to reach that limit, when he kind of reaches his pitch limit, you start to see him miss with command. When he starts to miss with command, he starts to leave that fastball middle. You start to see hitters hit that thing out of the park and over the wall. And I think that's the thing. I mean, you saw that on the road, too, against the Phillies. There were some times when he doesn't have that command, he starts to get fatigued. You start to see him serve up those bombs. So I think that was a great pull by Dave Roberts to come in, play the matchup there. You have Justin Brewer. So I actually really liked that move, and I thought he did a great job. But here we go. Thanks again, Doug. Great show as always. Thanks, Patrick. Mitch White looks like if Chan Ho and Yu Darvish had a kid. That's from Sonny. Look, you can tell. Ask my man Eric Eula. I've been saying he looks like if Yu Darvish and Andre Ethier had a kid. I that's my opinion, but I like yours too. Thanks, D-Mac. Hit that like button. Thanks, Alex. But funny how Freddie caused more team disruption than Bauer. Interesting take there. I love this nation. Thanks, Javier. LOL for real, Roberts. Thanks, Don Kim. Appreciate you. Book it. Roberts actually managed a great game today. Yeah, I did think he pushed a lot of the right buttons. I think when he went to Vesia, he did give up that hit early to Cronenworth, but you let Evan Phillips go out there, get 4 outs for you. He pitched a full inning, and then it comes out again to start the 8th inning. I thought that was a really nice move. I thought that all in all, he did manage a good game because it was a tight one. They weren't getting very much offense. And, I think it was definitely, for sure, a really nice game. But a couple more here, and then here we go. How about this one? Dodgers nonstop. Padres still suck. But here we go, guys. Yeah, here we go. D-Mac, thanks for the grace, but thank you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Moose. JRM, Mitch White pretty much negated Musgrove tonight. JRM, yeah, that's really the big takeaway. They have their ace. They have their biggest horse. Dodgers going with Mitch White. He's a guy that you see getting spot starts. He's definitely not a frontline guy for them, yet the Dodgers still were able to get a 3-run win, and it was thanks to Chris Taylor's throw to keep it a 1-run game, to keep it tied at 1, to keep the Padres from scoring multiple runs there. In the second, they scored in the first, but they got another one in the second, and then also Justin Turner just going crazy, going 3 for 3, having the 2 home runs, having the 3 RBIs. So it was a big night for JT. Huge win, Doug, from David. Gavin Stone should get his start to get. Yeah, my friend Mr. Tim Rogers is very high on Gavin Stone. So, yeah, man, a couple more, and then we'll head out. No more Freeman drama. Great show, D-Mac. Thanks, Nico. How's the internet, D-Mac? Let me know, guys. I've upgraded to this internet. Man, it seems like it's pretty fire, man. It's so fast, man. I'm already watching the game tomorrow. I'm already watching Tony Gonsolin versus Blake Snell. Dodgers up 10-0, and Austin Barnes has 6 home runs off Blake Snell. But it's just plain. Could this be the start of something, Doug? Thoughts on the Big Ten? Man, you guys, we'll do it. One of these days we'll do a just want to let you know. Okay, all right, I'll get to the bottom of that. But yep, guys, thanks again for the D-Mac. Stop giving away secrets for Dodger Stadium. All free parking is gone now. Denny Cortez, my bad, man. I'll delete that video for you, man. But thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your night. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodgers.